So I'm Michele Gelfand. I'm a cross-cultural psychologist from the University of Maryland, and I'm just thrilled to be here at this incredible conference. So I've been studying culture through the lens of norms, and in particular how strictly groups adhere to norms, what I call tight cultures that are strict and have punishments for people who deviate, and loose cultures that have much more permissiveness and are much more lax. And I've been excited to look at what are the reasons why tight and loose cultures evolve and what are the consequences for human groups. So we can use a variety of measures. We can ask people through surveys to rate the degree of norm strength in their context. We can use unobtrusive measures by looking at how much monitoring there is and punishments there are for rule breaking. We can even peer into the brain and look at how are people reacting to norm violations across different cultures, and what is the consequence of that kind of hyperactivity or hyper underactivity when people are viewing norm violations for other types of behaviors. So we try to use as many methods as possible. I've been recently partnering with evolutionary game theorists also to try to look at how we can use computer models to look at the evolution of tight and loose cultures at the population level, which is hard to get at when you just try to look at it in the laboratory, which is more at the individual level, which we do also, but it's exciting to try to triangulate with different methods. We've been also using a lot of language processing to create dictionaries of tightness and looseness. We have a paper coming out this month. I'm looking at tight-loose change over time, over 200 years, and the consequence it's had for at least the United States. We're really interested in looking at developmental processes of how kids acquire normative types of proclivities and how that varies across cultures. I'd call it sort of developmental, even cultural neuroscience, to look at kids and how they change over time in different cultural groups. And I'm also really interested in applying the Goldilocks principle of tight and loose to many different contexts. It just means that even though groups have to veer tight or loose for different reasons, that the groups that get too extreme, either super tight or super loose, have a lot of problems. And we've seen that in our own research. And so it applies a lot to organizations. Places like United that got really super tight, and they need to be tight, but perhaps not that tight. And places like Tesla or Uber that arguably should veer loose, but got super loose. And how do you help organizations to find that balance? I'm really super interested in trying to help organizations and employees, prospective candidates, to start diagnosing when might their organization be getting too tight or too loose. Because the signs, I think we can figure out how to help people figure out which things to look at and to balance the strength of norms in organizations for more happiness, for more productivity. And I'm really excited to be here at this conference because I've been talking to companies about this lens to see how are they using it and how might they use it in terms of becoming more effective.